Hey, folks. Welcome to Spooky Appalachia. I'm your host, Jimmy. For this week's fan submitted story, we've got one sent in by a fan who had an encounter with the Mothman creature, or may have had an encounter, I should say, with the Mothman creature in Mount Healthy, Ohio, back in the 1960s. My family moved to Mount Healthy, Ohio around the mid 60s, and before I had started the second grade, I was 6.5 years old at the time. My father had just moved all our belongings from Orange County, California, in a handmade trailer that he built from scratch to our new home. Unpacking and setting up the house was not in mine or my brother's plans, but to explore this new place that had trees and not just concrete. It was just another day in the life of a kid that rode his bike, played with the neighborhood kids, and explored the local Winton woods, parks, and trails. Not a care in the world except for when was dinner or wondering when mom was going to yell for me and my brother to come home. This evening, the family had dinner, and my brother and I had our baths before 9 o'clock. This is my story about Mothman. That night, I had a dream that I was awoken by the sound of whooshing wings outside of our bedroom window. I believed that I was fully awake at the time, but I was still asleep. I could see the illumination of the streetlight across the room and the swaying shadow of the cherry tree out by the road as it shone against the back of the blinds at the end of my brother's twin bed. Hearing this strange sound caused me to walk across the bedroom and pry open the blinds a bit to see what this was. That's when the noise stopped. Thinking it was just the wind, I laid back down in my bed but kept an eye on the blinds just in case. As I laid there, I heard the wings again, but this time a tall shadow appeared in the window which blocked out most of the street light, and it was as if it was the shadow of a large bird or bat. I froze. After a moment, it flew away from the window with that strange whooshing sound of wings again. Then it started to fade. Getting my nerves up, I went to the window, pulled back the blinds to only see the street and hear a flapping of wings in the distance, and darkness was all that I could see. At this point, I was sure something was out there, but still did not know what it was. Again, I laid back down in my bed. My brother was still asleep. As I laid there, I heard the whooshing of wings again, but this time it was outside the window above my head. Again, a large shadow appeared against the blinds above my head, and its silhouette covered the entire window. I sat up in bed and turned to peek through the blinds to see if I could see anything, but there was only pitch black as my window faced the woods and a 60-foot drop to a creek below. The moon was out that night and shone dimly above the trees, which wasn't much help to see what this thing was. At this time, at this point, I was getting scared, and when I decided to cover my head with a blanket and wish it would go away, about that time, I heard the wings getting louder and louder beside me outside the window. I sat up abruptly, and this bat like creature came crashing through the window and knocking the blinds down on top of me. I woke up screaming. I was tangled in the bed between sheets, blankets, and whatever else could get in my way. My mom and dad came running down the hall and turned on the lights to my room. They found me sitting up in bed crying and swinging my arms hysterically. They calmed me down and told me that it was just a dream and that nothing was out there, and showed me that all the blinds and windows were intact. I could not go back asleep. Did this really happen? Did I see and hear what I saw in the dream state to be real? It felt real to me. I can still recall this night 60 years ago as vividly as it had just happened yesterday. Wow. Big thank you to the fan who sent this in. Could it be Mothman? Maybe Mothman was causing this fan who sent this in to have the dream or whatever was going on. I mean, it's possible. He didn't get a good look at what it was, so I guess it's hard to say for sure that it was Mothman. But why don't you guys let us know what you think it is or was in the comments below? I'd love to see, and I'm sure the fan who sent it in would love to see. Could have been Mothman, maybe. Um, so if you guys have a story you guys would like to send in, like this one, or any kind of story related to paranormal, um, email us. The email is in the ticker down below, but you can email us at spookyappalachia@gmail.com. And I would like to take this time to thank all of our Patreons: Adam, Alvin, Charles, Danielle, Donald, Jeff, Jordan, Julia, Linda, Shannon, Taylor, and our content creator Patreons: Jared King TV, Scott, who's an author. His link is in the description, and Werewolf Radar Podcast. All three of their links are in the description. Be sure to check them out. And thank you for tuning in. Make sure to like, share out this video, subscribe, all that jazz. And we'll catch you in the next one. See y'all later.